not be making a huge mistake, right?
See the fatal line?
I've been there many times. Many times. But the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of choices, right? And customers we know buy emotionally. And so if they're treated rudely in any aspect of our organization, they've got other alternatives. So this empowers your team members, it helps them make good decisions, and it's got to be reinforced by the leader of the company all the time. There's a company that I absolutely love, and it's called E-Myth. Has anybody read the book, The E-Myth Revisited? I see a head nodding there. E-Myth has something that they call the 7 dynamics, and it's there at the bottom of the page. Leadership, finance, management, branding, marketing, sales, and delivery. And these are the overall aspects, functions that your business is broken into. And so the leader of the company, once the brand promise is established, needs to make sure that all of those functions of the company understand and execute on that brand promise every day. And there are ways to measure that. You can do customer surveys on each of your functional areas, internally and externally of your company, to help you understand whether you're truly executing on your brand promise. So I've got an example of one. I told you that my wife and I own a preschool in Farmington here. It was called Busy Bees Christian Preschool. And we had some really specific objectives in our brand promise, really specific ways we wanted our customers to feel and experience us. So we provide high quality education in a safe, fun environment where students are treated as individuals and introduced to the basics of the Christian faith. Employees have a safe environment to grow and express their gifts and creativity. Parents have peace of mind knowing their children are safe, learning, having fun, and are with people who love them. So that right there, that drove our business. And if you'll notice, it had 3 constituencies there. What were they? Employees, students, and parents, right. And so your brand promise can include your entire community. You don't just serve your clients. You serve your employees, you serve your vendors, your suppliers, anybody that you touch. You've got a specific way that you want them to come away thinking about your business and talking about your business. A specific way you want them to experience you. So this brand promise, it drove our staff meetings. It drove our innovation. And sometimes, as you know, in a business, you've got hard situations. Sometimes you've got to discipline and terminate employees. Sometimes you've got to terminate customers. But you still got to maintain the integrity of your brand promise. So for us, it was doing that not in a spirit of anger, but respect and love to even in those difficult situations. So your brand promise differentiates you. At my company, Nehemiah Worldwide, we have a brand promise. And here it is. We want our clients to feel like we're their trusted advisor and friend, someone they consider an integral part of their company, someone who cares about their business just as much as they do. We want them to feel like we're loyal, that we inspire creativity, and we give a dramatic boost to their team and their company. So when you put your brand promise together, there are a lot of questions that you should ask yourself. And you can do this as a team. But for example, what makes you unique and special? How are you different from any of your competitors? How is Jose's different from all the other choices I have, for example? How would you describe your personality and attitudes? Oftentimes, clients are drawn to us because of who we are as individuals. Have you ever heard the phrase know, like, and trust in marketing? Well, if I like you, that can be just a clear differentiator. Do I resonate as a customer with your company's values? And on and on. You can see those questions in there. On page 7, Another set of questions, for example, how will you improve their lives? Will you save them time? Will they have more fun as a result of having done business with you? Will they be smarter? Will they be more comfortable? Will they be stronger? Will they be in better health? How do you impact their lives? And then what do you want them to think, feel, experience? So for example, do you want them to feel like you care about them genuinely as people, and that you're there for them, and that your services really meet their needs, almost like they're customized to them? Is that how you want your customers to feel? You've got to design that into your business. So once you go through the exercise of answering these questions, then you've got to put them together in a concise statement that really resonates with you and with your employees, if you have them, and one that you can build your business around. This takes hard work. I mean, you can maybe in an afternoon come up with a brand promise, but then building it in to everything that you do is tough. And it's a check. You should do that touch points analysis, because let me just see a show of hands. How many of y'all have employees or work for a company that has employees? Okay. How many of you work on your own? Great. Even if you work on your own, you're still doing those 7 dynamics. It's just that you're doing them yourself unless you've outsourced them. So even as an example, I work with a client in San Antonio, a contractor, a home improvement contractor, and they outsource all their installation. They have a sales force, inbound calling, they've got a marketing team, a management team, but the actual work that's done on a client's house is done by contractors. Well, or subcontractors rather. When they hire those subcontractors, they've got to be really, really sure that those subcontractors buy into and understand and are be able to execute on that company's brand promise. Because if they're not, all your efforts are in vain, right? So, does anybody have a brand promise that you'd like to share with us? Any of y'all ever thought of this prior to today?
It's something that we're kind of moving toward.
Okay.
We're constantly changing and evolving our menu to include all natural products and organic products to help people start to live a healthier lifestyle. So that's something that I would like to implement with Doug. Unfortunately, he was able to make
Okay.
it, but that's one of the ways that we're going. So.
That's great. So you're moving toward it. Excellent. So your brand promise really influences your hiring and your training as well. I want to emphasize that. Have you heard of the company called Zappos? Has anybody ever bought from Zappos? Well, they put their new employees through a multi-week training process. And they get them absorbed into the Zappos culture. And they make sure their employees really understand and believe in and can execute upon this brand promise. And if at the end of the training period they don't buy into it or they don't think they can work with that brand promise, they pay them to leave.
Scott, how interchangeable is a mission statement, company culture with brand promise?
That's a great question, Mark. How interchangeable is mission statement and culture with brand promise? I think that brand promise is even more important than your mission statement. And I think it helps you define your culture and the relationship that you have between your employees and your customers. Remember, you can have a great, wonderful, lofty mission statement, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't evoke emotion from your clients, if it doesn't make them feel great about doing business with you, if it doesn't impact their lives positively, then you really haven't accomplished anything. It's just something that's on the wall. So I think the brand promise is more than the mission statement, something that you live and breathe and execute on every single day with every single customer in every part of your company. It's very hands-on. Does that help?
Yep.
Okay, great. Any other questions around brand promise? Okay, so now we're going to move to marketing, analytics, and automation. And this can be a tough one for some people, but I want to let you know that it's the gold mine. I mean, I really mean that. This is the gold mine. Don't let it intimidate you, because all you're trying to do here with marketing analytics and automation is understand the behaviors of your customers and the behaviors of your marketplace. What we're trying to do is look for trends, and they can be positive trends or negative ones. So if there's a negative trend, you want to know about it sooner than later, right? And this is what analytics can do for you. It can help you understand where your customers live, who your best customers are, what they buy, how frequently they buy, how long they've been a customer, and it can help you understand trends in the marketplace. And yes, there is some technology involved. There are numbers involved. And there are analytical techniques involved. But you don't have to do them. You just have to know that they exist and get people on your team either hired or outsourced to help you sort through those. And so we're going to talk about a really practical example right now. Best customers. I'm convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt, I've witnessed this, experienced it over and over again, that most companies don't know who their best customers are. Ouch. Can we say ouch together? Ouch, that hurts. These are the people who are giving us all of our profits. They're the reason that we exist. They pay our salaries, our mortgages, our vacations, our kids' dentist bills, college bills, etc. Most people don't know who they are. Most companies don't know who they are. And if they do, they're not building strategies around them. So here's an example. In the banking industry, believe it or not, 90% of the profits come from 10% of the customers. And those customers, that 10%, except for the very, very maybe top 1 or 2%, those customers are largely invisible. They're just living their lives. They're somewhere in your system, ready to get picked off by a competitor, very, very vulnerable. But yet they're giving you a ton of profitability. The worst day that you can have as a business is when one of those customers either goes away to a competitor or falls into that marginal or unprofitable category. The best day that you can have is when one of the marginal or unprofitable customers becomes one of those most profitable. Now, to make this a little bit more concrete, I want to use kind of a negative example, but it'll hit home, I'm sure, with many of you. I have done business with an insurance agent for many, many years, and I'm positive, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I am this insurance agent's one of their best customers. I have no doubt about it. Not once in 16 years has that insurance agent called me and said, I appreciate your business. Here are a couple tickets to the Naturals game. Or, I appreciate your business. You know what? I think it's time, now that you have children, to come in and do a check and see if your insurance needs have changed. Not one time. What do I get? I get stuff from their corporate office that says, hey, buy more. Or once a year, I think I get a birthday card. Let me ask you, has anybody ever had an experience similar where you think you've been one of the best customers of a business, and yet you get treated that way? I see heads nodding. Anybody else? How does that make you think?